Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Master of Ceremony of the Global Startup Awards Central Asia Regional Final, Sultan Mavlonov.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, partners, and innovators. Welcome to the GSA Central Europe Regional Awards Ceremony here at Caex. Today, we have gathered to celebrate the vision, the resilience, and the breakthroughs that are entrepreneurs shaping the future of Central Euro-Asia. I'll be your host. My name is Sultan Mavlonov, and now let's officially open the program for this inaugural edition.
For billions of years, we waited to embrace our full potential. Slowly, we started exploring the world around us. We became organized and skilled. We learned the language of nature. This empowered us to create unbelievable things. With the digital age, our development became exponential. We have become masters of our world. But it comes with a great responsibility. The responsibility lies with those who master technology. With their vision and innovation, they will shape our future. We have made it our mission to find that 1%.
And now, I'd like to formally introduce the co-founder and CEO of EXO Group, which is the parent company of Global Startup Awards, Kim Bale. Please, come.
Thank you so much. Hello, Tascan. Is trying to put in place here in Uzbekistan, because this new generation of founders, they will be in a completely new environment compared to the generations before them. So one thing that is really changing right now is obviously the exponential growth of implementation of technology. They say that the future unicorns will be managed by a group of 10, 15 people. This is quite a change in the whole innovation ecosystem, and it it really brings new opportunities to the future founders. In the last decade, while we've been working with Global Startup Awards, there has been 3 very big trends that has slowly changed the foundation of innovation ecosystems. The first one is that the access to technology, let's call it democratization of technology, has been growing year after year. But everyone here knows that there's been an even more rapid escalation in exponentiality of how this is happening. Now, you can build a product easier than before, meaning that you can enable a whole new generation of founders that doesn't have to study a master in programming to build a prototype. This is a very big change in the fundamental of the ecosystem. The second thing is that the access to programs, to role models, to capital is also being democratized in the sense that even here in Uzbekistan, where we are now, we have a lot of international players. IT Park offers a wide range of programs, educational and also programs to grow your startup. This has also been rapidly changing year after year everywhere. And lastly, ecosystem has been growing in strength and internationalization over the last decade, and it's even scaling up faster than ever before, and that's what we see here in Uzbekistan. So these 3 trends is gonna make a completely new environment that enables unicorns to come from parts of the world in greater numbers than before. So the proportion of successful startups that's going to have global scale coming from other parts of the world and Silicon Valley, this is what's happening now. So in the future, innovation will come from anywhere where you have the talent, you have the support from the government, and you have the bright minds to build the products. So it's never been a better time to be a founder from Uzbekistan or from Central Asia. The world is open to you, so I hope you grab that opportunity, and let's see the finalists from Central Asia and see who's going to win and represent Central Asia in Denmark for the global finale in Copenhagen. So enjoy this show, and hopefully I can see you afterwards for some networking and some conversations. Thank you.
We have Chris Haley, Head of Research at Startup Genome, with a keynote on Central Euro-Asia as the emerging market everyone is watching. Please welcome Chris Haley.
Hello. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation to be here. Thank you to IT Park for making it possible. My name is Chris Haley. I am Head of Research at Startup Genome. And can we get the slides up? And I'm going to be just spending 10 minutes giving a little bit of background about what the data says is happening here in Uzbekistan and how it compares to regional ecosystems. For those of you who haven't encountered Startup Genome, we are a research and policy advisory organization that specializes in ecosystem building. So our clients are governments, national and regional, really across the world, although we do also have some private sector clients as well. Everything that we do is, I'll skip through this. Everything that we do is very much data-led. So we are a very data-intensive organization, but it's underpinned by a kind of theory of how ecosystems grow and develop. And we're constantly trying to test and refine that ecosystem theory. And one of the things that we see with ecosystems is they typically go through a number of stages of development. And at each stage of development, the problems they have, the characteristics that they have, are very different to other stages, but actually quite similar to other ecosystems at a similar stage of development. And we think that Tashkent is currently at the early stage, which we call activation stage. And typically what we see for those early stage ecosystems is relatively low numbers of startups, typically under 1,000, relatively low levels of experience, and unfortunately quite a lot of what we would call resource leakage. So founders that develop, they often actually get attracted outside of the ecosystem, which prevents some of that feedback and recycling of resource within the ecosystem. But to jump into the data then, so what do we see that's happening here and how does it compare? Well, our data very much reinforces everything that you've probably heard over the past day or so and in the previous weeks, no doubt. Really remarkably rapid growth, both in the volume, the volume and also the value of deals here. In fact, if we compare Tashkent with other regional ecosystems, we think that the growth is remarkably faster than in any of the surrounding ecosystems. A quick caveat about data. We know, and any of you working with data for Central Asia will know there are quite a few data gaps here, unfortunately. Some of the decreasing lines you see may be due to data lag, but nevertheless, we think that Tashkent is quite definitely outperforming. And also at the same time, we have seen the first unicorn appearing here. Now, those of you who were at Yoram's talk from Deal Room yesterday may say, well, why did Yoram present 2 unicorns? We presented 1. That's because Startup Genome, we have a slightly more conservative, a stricter definition of what a tech startup is. But nevertheless, any unicorn is really very significant. Unicorns matter. They're role models for other startups. They help attract media attention, and they help put an ecosystem on the map in terms of the kind of global startup community. One thing that we look at quite closely is what we call ecosystem value, which for us is a sum of the total economic value of startups and recent exits within a given period of time. And we think that the ecosystem value here for Uzbekistan is now over $1 billion. We think about 1.2 billion. Obviously, the vast bulk of that is due to Uzum's valuation. But actually, that's not atypical for many ecosystems where we see a sort of power law distribution. And in terms of how ecosystem value compares to GDP, we think it's currently about 1.2%. To be clear, that's not saying startups contribute 1.2% of GDP, because you're slightly comparing apples and oranges. But it gives us a sort of measure of the relative size of an ecosystem compared to the size of an overall economy. For comparison, across the G20, it's about 8%. For the US, it's about a ratio of about 14%. So that gives you an indication of sort of how much headroom there is to grow the ecosystem. So into the details of the data then. This is taken from our Global Startup Ecosystem Report, which is an annual publication. We compare about 35 different metrics across several hundred ecosystems globally. And we take those 35 metrics and distill them down to the kind of 5 pillars that you see on the right-hand side here. They're fairly self-explanatory. Market reach, just to explain, is a measure of how well the startups in a given ecosystem can attract customers from overseas to the extent to which they can penetrate foreign markets, whereas knowledge is a kind of composite of IP, STEM publications, and so on. So our view is, compared to regional peers, Tashkent actually outperforms overall. We would say it's the #1 ecosystem in the region. We do think, though, that Yerevan is slightly outperforming in terms of market reach. We think that they're a little bit better connected globally, and possibly a little bit on the knowledge production as well. But overall, clearly a lot going right here in Tashkent. Okay, so just a couple of slides on where we think that Uzbekistan may go and what might lie ahead for the next few years. So these are a couple of growth scenarios. So at the moment, the ecosystem is growing very rapidly. Clearly, that's growing from quite a low base, and that will have to slow down necessarily just because of the mathematics. But nevertheless, if we look at other relatively young ecosystems, we think that a 10 to 15% annual growth rate is eminently achievable, if not outperforming that. And overall, we think at the moment there's probably about something in the order of 700 startups across Uzbekistan. Projecting that forward at 10% a year by 2030, we think there could be about 1,100. If we took a 15% growth rate, probably about 1,400. And what that would mean is they would probably need in total about 350 million of venture capital. We think that 1,100 startups would actually contribute directly about 5,000 jobs. And indirectly, sorry, I hope you can hear me, I'm competing with the bass in the background. Indirectly, we think that that would be close to about 24,000 indirect jobs. So if we take into account suppliers, co-working spaces, and all of the other parts of the ecosystem that are supported. And if we manage to do that, it would take the ecosystem value to about a bit over 2% of GDP. What will we need in order to do that? Well, I think in order to get the extra 400 startups, we probably need to get about 4,000 early stage ideas, and that probably means reaching out to something like 8,000 potential founders. So the later stage pipeline, the seed rounds and the Series A, I think is eminently achievable, but I do think there's probably a bit of work to be done at the start of the funnel to reach out to the new prospective founders to work on things like pre-accelerators, and widen the early stages of the funnel. I'm nearly out of time, but just one final slide, if I may. In addition to starting, we should be thinking about scaling. How do we get the existing startups to be bigger, more successful? And this is a slide based on research that we did at Startup Genome about 18 months ago, where we looked globally at startups that had reached a $50 million valuation and compared them with startups that hadn't met that threshold. And what was particularly striking were two things in particular stood out. One was global connection. So startups that had at least 5 strong connections to leading ecosystems, so typically Silicon Valley, New York, London, it was linked with a sort of 8.5 times greater likelihood of scaling than those that had no connections globally. The other thing that really stood out was the use of stock options. So startups that gave stock to their staff, about 2.5 times more likely to scale. If they gave options to staff and also advisors as well, they were about 15 times more likely to reach that 50 million mark than startups that did none of that. So for you startup founders that are out there, do please bear this in mind. If you are not directly a founder, but you're running an accelerator or something else similar and working with founders, please also bear this in mind as well. I'm out of time, so I'm going to stop there, but if any of you would like to explore the data that sits behind this, please do feel free to get in touch with me. And for any other analysis or data, again, please do feel free to reach out. Thank you very much for your time.
All right. Thank you very much, Chris. That was super informative. And now we'll move on to our award ceremony. The first part of our award ceremony is going to be divided into categories. I'll introduce a team and then invite one of our presenters to announce the winner. Without any holding, let's begin. Our first award is Best Newcomer, recognizing a startup that has burst onto the scene with a lot of energy and potential. So to announce the winner, please welcome Abdullah Kuchayev, CEO of IT Park. Please.
What should I do? Just open the envelope and read. It is startup. It is not Uzbek startup. It is unfortunately not startup from Tajikistan or Kyrgyzstan. It's Kazakhstanian startup, and this is Oyna AI.
All right, please stay on the stage. You're going to have an interview with Mr. Kim Bally.
And a mic for you as well? Exactly. You're faster than I was.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Bagdolit, but you can call me Baga. I think that'll be easier.
Nice to meet you. I'm Kim. So we want to give the audience a chance to understand a little bit of your why, like what brought you to. You're within AI and you work with presentations, right?
Yeah, sure.
Can you tell the audience that moment where you realized you had to build this product and why you're building it?
Sure. So firstly, let me introduce our startup called Oyna AI. We create interactive AI presentation just in minutes. We create it in just a few minutes. So probably answering to your question, the moment when we decided to build a startup, it's actually before Oyna, we've been building a different interactive software. But it was more about the market of those startups was more about a local market. So after COVID, we decided to build a product that will be easy scalable. So to build a product that can scale on the different markets. So that's firstly, we were trying to identify what kind of problem will be like a global problem. And I was building a presentation.
So you started all the way back before COVID and then you made a pivot?
Yeah, kind of. So, and I was making a presentation to my co-founder, like what we should build. And then there was
you were internally presenting and you realized...
Yeah. And I spent a lot of time on creating this presentation. And I was like, wow, so we have to build something that will make this much easier. So that's the way how we decided. And we combined the interactivity from the previous startup to current startup, Oyna.
I think this is a typical founder story. So you learn and you iterate. And it also makes me think that you started this AI journey before it was really taking its toll. So what was the tool you worked with in the very beginning? So now you're AI driven, but when you started this pivot, it was before the AI really became mainstream.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not a kind of, we've made a pivot, but that's kind of second startup because the first one was interactive software for cinemas.
Wow.
It was kind of different, but the approach is the same.
Thank you for sharing the story, and I think it also ties a little bit into what we were talking about in the beginning, that you have this, it's easier to do a pivot today because it's easier to build products, so you can easily realize your vision. Do you feel that's also the case now?
I can say yeah. So the startup life is kind of, let's say we've made a pivot, okay, but probably in the future we'll make even more pivots because since we've launched our product like in August of this year, publicly launched, we understand that by the end of the year maybe we'll make some even different pivots, but not as the pivot of product, but maybe in ICP.
Thank you. Here in the end, could you share one good advice, like that one thing that you really learned the last 12 months when you were participating in Global Startups? Do you have one short advice for the founders out here?
I'd say make a lot of research. make a lot of research, make a lot of customer development interviews, because that's very helpful.
I heard that one before. So test it in the customers before you build it completely.
Yeah, exactly. So before you start, you have to understand: do you solve the problem? Will people pay for this?
Is there a problem in the first place? Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Let's get a picture.
Actually, I want to say thank you, guys. I want to thank you, GSA team. So that's a pleasure.
Thanks for
So have a
coming all
good
the
day,
way.
guys.
All right, now let's move on to our second category. This category is about best co-working space. This award celebrates the spaces where ideas come alive and collaboration thrives. So please welcome Anarbek Utegulup from Astana Hub to announce the winner.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, the nominee is Best Co-working Space. And it's from Kyrgyzstan, Ololo.
Also, please stay. You're going to have an interview with Mr. Kim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we have to stay. Okay.
Yes, please take a seat.
No, you too.
So guys, thank you for coming all the way.
Thank you for the opportunity to be part of this such a great place, and I mean the initiative of the project. We're honored to be a part of it. So thank you.
Is it your first time in ICT Week?
Yes, but we do. But yeah, actually yes.
But hopefully not the last time.
Sorry.
Hopefully not the last time.
I hope so too.
First of all, I remember your application. I remember when they showed me the finalist, and I saw that you have co-living. Yeah. Is that correct?
Yeah, we actually have creative hubs. It includes the co-working spaces plus the co-living space, hostels, and co-working resort, art hotel, and
That's really cool.
And we're building a city now for digital nomads in the lake. It's cool. So yeah, there are many projects involved in that.
The co-living, do you also envision that for startups? So I'm just imagine you live with your co-founders in the same house and you have all these inspiring people around you. Is that what you envision?
Yeah, well, our target audience is the digital nomads plus the innovators that have different, inspiring projects and stuff. And our main goal is to help them to reach their goals and to prosper, have the great networking, the community and stuff. So we try to, help with all of those goals that are actually changing the world and making a big contribution.
That's a good vision. And what we talked about at the beginning is that they say that the future unicorns can be maybe even operated by one person. So maybe that one person can come out of your co-living.
Yeah, that's part of our goals. We hope that it's going to happen pretty soon. So, yeah.
But I look forward to work with you in the future for Central Asia Startup Awards because you are, besides being a co-working space, you play an important role in an ecosystem. Without good co-working spaces, you don't have the right foundation for growth. So we look forward to also work with you in the future and making sure we can get everyone nominated from your network. But thank you so much.
That would be great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Let's get one picture.
All right. Just a notice for our future winners. Once you're done with the first session, please stay for an interview with Mr. Kim. Now, moving on to our third category. It is the best health tech startup. We all know health technology is transforming lives, and it's also creating lasting impact on all of our lives. So, to reveal the winner, please welcome Renata Ilabayeva of Tumor Innovation Hub. One moment.
Thank you so much. This is a nice envelope. And the best health tech startup is AI Dentist. Where are you guys? Oh, she's here.
Congratulations to AI Dentist. Please, Mr. Kim.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So it's very clear what you're working with, at least from your company name. It's Dentist and AI. So it seems to be a product that can use AI to analyze the pictures of your teeth to have a quicker and more accurate.
Yes, we are a tool for the dentist doctors, and our AI makes an analysis of an X-ray. And dentists, they have different types of X-rays, and now we are launching our new module for the therapists, for the dental therapists. Yes.
It makes me think, did you came up with this product as part of maybe understanding the problem on one hand, and then on the other hand realizing there's a new thing happening with AI, and then you thought, okay, now it's time to move on this? Or what was the pivoted moment where you decided to build this product?
I'm not a CEO. I'm a product owner, but the idea came from the problem that diagnostics in dentistry takes a lot of time from the doctor. It is very exhausting and time-consuming. And we understood that AI can definitely optimize that problem.
Very good. And I wish you good luck for the global finale. So you will compete with health tech companies from 18 other regions. So it's going to be interesting to meet them, your competitors, but in a way also inspiration from your same industry.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Let's get one picture.
All right, I think we can all agree, thanks to AI Dentist, we're all going to have a better smile. So congratulations. Now, we're moving on to our fourth category, which is the best accelerator/incubator program. So we all know accelerators and incubators nurture the future. Thanks to them, we have ecosystems of startups, and that's the reason why we're all here. So to announce the winner, please welcome Asad Abdulaliyev from Silk Road Innovation Hub.
Hi, everyone. Well, it feels like Oscars, right? Very excited. So we have 4 really great incubators here, and the award goes to, drum roll, KBDU Startup Incubator. Congrats.
All right, please stay on the stage. Mr. Kim, you're welcome.
Okay, let's have a seat.
Congratulations.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thanks for this award.
Kazakhstan, again.
Exactly, Almaty city.
We already had a conversation, so you are what I would call an ecosystem builder, but at the same time, you are the CEO of an accelerator. Is that correct?
Exactly. I have several roles. So let's say first chair, I'm CEO and founder of startupcourse.com. One of the nominees, it's ecosystem of youth entrepreneurship for universities, colleges, and schools. We have around 10,000 followers, mostly of them in Telegram, 8,000 in main channel, and thanks for my colleagues in Uzbekistan, we grow the number and have second chair, yeah. Because of that, I became director of startup incubator at Kazakh British Technical University, and that's my second chair. And moreover, I started to gather people like me from other universities, from other schools and colleges, and we created Association of University Business Incubators and Accelerators, and I became like vice president of that association. Do you see? Three roles, but main role is KBT startup, yeah. So what's your question?
You are a very busy guy, and you definitely have passion for the ecosystem, because we already had a conversation and you could feel it. And it's very interesting from our line of work. We meet people like you in all countries, but there are some people that sticks out more than others. And I think from what I've experienced so far, you're one of these guys. So we hope to connect with you further, so we can next year in ICT Week not only bring Kazakhstan finalists, but bring your whole ecosystem here, so the ecosystem can unite and spend time together. So keep up the great work, and I hope you can also bring the Kazakhstan ecosystem to the global finale. That would be amazing.
Okay, hope for that.
And maybe an advice to the other ecosystem builders out there, because when you are an ecosystem builder, you are often not driven by making a quick buck. Usually there is some value and passion that drives you forward. Can you give a good advice for the ecosystem builders out there that sometimes find it hard to make it work, because sometimes you don't get the grant that you want, or you don't get the commercial partner that you want? You have one good advice?
Yeah, for sure, energy goes down when you start to helping people. And there is a great proverb about, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with someone. And that's why we started to gather ecosystem players, and let's build ecosystem of ecosystems. And it's much better understanding, because first level of understanding, I can do it. Second level of understanding, I can teach you how to do it. But third level of understanding, I can teach you how to teach. And that's our point, to be training of trainers, to grow the ecosystem all over the Central Asia, Central Eurasia, and make the world a better place.
That sounds like so you are both a visionary, but you seem also that you have to be structured. So you have playbooks and write things down, or how do you pass on knowledge?
Okay, about all the playbooks and manuals. We have manual how to run incubator and manual by UN, and they tell hire 6 people in staff. Who can hire 6 people in staff of the incubator or accelerator? Only a rare organization with a lot of money. That's why we create our own approach, and my approach is academic incubation inside of the curriculum according to Bologna credit system. That's how we work, and that's how we run it inside of the educational process at the university.
And that's also where you find the new generation of founders.
Yeah, and that's where we found the energy. Speak with youngsters, speak with people, with school children, and they pump energy, and you're like, when your battery is empty, you can touch them, you can speak with them, and the energy goes up.
I think it's a great advice. Great advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Final picture.
All right, that was a really nice advice and a really nice icebreaker. Thank you and congratulations to you, KBTU. And now, speaking of icebreakers, why don't we move on to an exciting conversation? We're going to have a panel discussion, and I want all of us to welcome panelists from representing IT Park, Astana Hub, GITA, HTP, Technohub Dushanbe, and IDDA Azerbaijan, and our moderator, Bahodir Ayupov. Please welcome on the stage.
А? Что? Не-не-не, я буду... Раз. Great. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And it is my pleasure to welcome you all to our panel discussion, Central Eurasia, the Rising Innovation Hub. My name is Bahodir Ayupov, the CEO of IT Park University. Honored to serve as your moderator for this session. Now, folks, we meet at a fascinating time. Across the whole region, startup ecosystems are, I would say, emergent, but they're not. They're accelerating. I mean, look, Uzbekistan already has its first unicorn, Uzum. Kazakhstan has given birth to Kaspi. Georgia, Azerbaijan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan are all building tech parks, innovation hubs, and policies that would have seemed ambitious a decade ago. But our purpose today is not to, showcase individual success stories. No. Instead, we're here to ask a question. How do we turn this momentum into a long-term regional advantage? Because if you think about it, Central Eurasia has got all the right raw ingredients. Young talents, growing markets, and increasing international attention. So the challenge now is to move from fragmented efforts to unified regional innovation strategy. From early wins to an infrastructure that enables scale. And from ambitions to a clear roadmap for the global competitiveness. So we need to discuss and explore three main big questions. First, what is it that makes Central Eurasia attractive for startups and venture capital activity? Second, how do we move beyond the pilots and one-off initiatives and build the right sustainable long-term regional infrastructure? And third, what regional shared activities, actions, and commitments are needed to attract global investors and enable our startups to scale beyond borders? And we have just the right set of experts to help us form an opinion around these questions. Allow me to introduce them to you. Please meet Mr. Salar Imamaliyev, Executive Director of the Innovation Digital Development Agency, otherwise known as IDDA, Azerbaijan. Salar is pushing forward Azerbaijan's tech diversification beyond oil. He has been forging global partnerships, from signing strategic agreements with Israel's aerospace industry to collaborations with European tech firms, all to bring international innovation into Azerbaijan's ecosystem. Does that sound right, Salah? Welcome, Salah. Thank you very much. Presenting to you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Georgi Kezherashvili, Head of Tech Parks Department at Georgian Innovation and Technology Agency, otherwise known as GITA. Georgi, is it GITA or GITA? GITA, yes. Georgi oversees a network of tech parks and innovation centers across Georgia, from Tbilisi to Batumi and beyond. Under his leadership, GITA has supported hundreds of startups with funding and incubation programs and help bring tech opportunities to regions outside the capital. Glad to have you here, Georgi. I am honored to invite to the stage Mr. Anarbek Utegulov, Director of the Industry 4.0 Office at Astana Hub, Kazakhstan. Anarbek leads Kazakhstan's push into next-gen industries under the umbrella of Astana Hub, Central Asia's largest tech hub with over 600 member companies. Has been of ultimate importance in programs like Astana Hub's Industrial AI Accelerator and driving the country's digital transformation agency. Thank you very much for joining us, Anna. Our dearest partner, Mr. Chubak Timirov, Director of High Technology Park, Kyrgyzstan. Chubak heads the High Technology Park of the Kyrgyz Republic, which was actually Central Asia's first tech park, established over a decade ago. He has attracted over 300 IT companies and over 2,000 developers to Kyrgyzstan through generous tax incentives. The HTP's motto is live in Kyrgyzstan and work with the whole world. Is that so? Right. Welcome, Chubak. Introducing to you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Masrur Ishanov, Director of Techno Hub Dushanbe, Tajikistan. Masrur is the co-founder and leader of one of Tajikistan's first innovation hubs. He's working to ignite a startup spark in a nascent ecosystem. His Techno Hub is creating a platform for knowledge exchange and tech community growth in Dushanbe. Glad to have you here with us, Masrur. And our host representative, Ms. Jamilia Khali, Global Marketing Director at IT Park, Uzbekistan. Jamilia happens to be one of Uzbekistan's youngest CMOs with over 10 years in media and a driving force behind the country's IT brand on the whole world stage. She's led the international outreach from Dubai AI Week to expanding the Uzbekistan outsourcing conference in New York and has helped bring dozens of foreign companies into the ecosystem. So in short, she turns visibility into pipelines of growth, partnership, and exports. Welcome, Jamilia. Great. Look at you. Fine gentleman and a beautiful lady, by the way. Thank you very much for saving our panel discussion from turning into dudes-only party. Now, guys, I was already very inspired just by reading your bios. And I think we're going to have to extend this session to 3 hours. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to get all your answers. I'm just kidding. Well, 6 to 45 minutes. All right, let's get this moving. Gentlemen and my lady, I'd like each of you to share a bit about what's happening in your country's startup ecosystem and contributing it to the idea of Central Eurasia as the new innovation hub. I got some questions prepared and tailored to each of you, and I'm going to start with you, Jamilia. Now, Uzbekistan has already amazed the region with its record-breaking growth of over $1 billion ecosystem built in just a few years. And the question, of course, is, what do you think made this possible? And do you think we are actually able to sustain this momentum? Exactly. $600,000. That was what year? 2017. That is true, exactly.
And as you heard, the Builder announced that system now value almost $4 billion in Uzbekistan.
4 billion.
Yes. Moreover, now we have more than 3,000 member companies at the IT Park, more than 600 active startups, and 2 unicorns already. And this happened not by chance, because the government created the comprehensive support programs. First of all, it's zero tax rates for IT companies and the startups. Moreover, last year, we launched new governmental support program called Digital Startups. where we can co-invest into the startups that attracted foreign investments. And moreover, we focus into IT education. Every year, more than 25,000 students graduate from IT disciplines in Uzbekistan. And as the result of this dynamic growth, we reached $901 million in IT export last year, going to 90 countries and with 45% to North American market. Yes, thank you.
That does
I know
require
that's,
applause.
yeah,
Absolutely,
that's,
absolutely.
Impressive results even for us working in the IT park and seeing this kind of growth. And for the future, our vision is absolutely clear. We want to expand more globally with the startups and create more opportunities for our local talents to join international accelerations and to compete on the global stages. And I think we have all the chances to create this kind of unique ecosystem and a platform for the startups here in Uzbekistan.
Is that belief shared with the management administration of the country?
Yes, absolutely, because we have this vision from the president's side, because president believes into the startups, he believes into the talent,
right.
And as you know, the 60% of the whole population of Uzbekistan are young people under
Yep.
the age of 30.
That's
So
true.
we are one of the youngest ecosystems also in the world.
Exactly. And I have to add something that really helps Uzbekistan is the fact that the Prime Minister of Uzbekistan happens to be from IT industry, so that he communicates the right messages to the president. So that is a very, very valid point. Thank you very much, Jamilia. And I do agree. The speed of Uzbekistan is really impressive. But let's see how Kazakhstan is shaping its own path, having its own hub. Another big, Kazakhstan's hub is the largest in Central Asia, and Astana hub has really been, the flagship. But the big question remains: when are we going to see the next Kazakh unicorn? What do you think is still missing?
Thank you very much. It's a great question, actually. And this year, as an international technopark in the region, we've set ambitious goals. So by 2030, we expect to grow our own 5 unicorns at least.
That is by 2030.
By 2030.
That is very ambitious,
but right
don't
now,
you think?
we have a very promising startup that is already leading to this status of unicorn. Like maybe you just recently heard about Higgsfield AI. That's
yes, I heard.
Generative AI company that creates very realistic videos by using the AI technologies. So just recently they raised $50 million of VC round. So expected to be very close to 1 billion valuation. And another promising startup that could reach in the near future, maybe you've heard about the startup Codiplay. That's an education technology startup that propose solutions to schools, like a B2B solutions, where with the pupils get educated by using these programming technologies and so on. Third promising one we see is in the gaming industry, Grand Mobile. That's another one that is proving that gaming industry could be tackled by our founders from our region.
Right.
And fourth, I would say it's the Caex. That's technology for smart city, advertising technology that reshapes the mobility in the city and the environmental monitoring systems.
Has any of those startups been evaluated yet? Any valuation estimations? I mean, if you have that data, if not,
yes,
that's okay.
Like Codiplay is evaluated by $100 million.
All right.
Grand Mobile maybe a little less, like 75, and Caex is around 1
That is
billion.
fantastic.
So
considering that you have 5 years, I think that's very possible.
In 2 or 3 years, we will see homegrown unicorns in this long run.
Yep. That is how we rely on Kazakhstan informing the regional startup ecosystem in Central Eurasia.
One point to add that I think for building this environment to have more unicorns in our region, we think we need to focus on creating this big VC funds that could support this good startups in later stages, like maybe in Series B and so on. So in that sense, more funding opportunities will provide for our startups to scale internationally.
Excellent.
So in this regard, we actually launched our fund of funds. That is a fund that will support bigger VC funds who will be supporting these kind of later stage startups.
You call it fund of funds?
So the target fund of it's like around 1 billion.
1 billion?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That is great. As far as I remember, Uzbekistan's overall venture potential is about, what was it, $100 million, I think?
The evaluation or the potential?
The overall venture funds available in Uzbekistan.
Yes. And also we have fund of funds too. We created it last year.
United Ventures, wasn't it?
No, it's UzVC.
Oh, UzVC,
so, yeah,
right,
it's fund of funds.
Excellent. Fantastic. Another thank you very much. I think Kazakhstan's scale does really impress. But Georgia has shown us, Georgi, that even a smaller country can punch above its weight. And Georgi, now Georgia, as far as I know, has been positioning itself so far as the bridge between East and West. And JITA support has reached startups across the country. Now, what niche are you guys carving out? And also, I always wondered, how do Georgian startups, scale beyond borders? If you could shed some light on that, please. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and really congratulations on this wonderful event. Like really impressive each day, and I'm really honored to be here with also, especially with the players who are building the ecosystem a lot like ours. Very ambitious, very fast, very enthusiastic, and especially hungry. The thing here is, especially when we talk about the sizes of our countries, yes, Georgia has to find a niche. Of course, it's a big region, and our founders, they do not scale in closed storages, and neither should the ecosystems that we are operating in. So the magic word here, I think it is the corridor of Central Asia, of South Caucasus, and that's a magic formula that we are...
Corridor. You've been working on
yes.
that. Was that a part of the strategy all the way from the very beginning?
Not initially.
Okay.
Let's say, but we are seeing all these countries, our neighbor friend countries, that are striving, that are growing very fast. So I think we will be discussing this later on, how this regional concept mind and this mindset should be working. But now about Georgia, we launched like 10 years ago in the country. I think the startup, innovation, tech, these were like words out of like a foreign vocabulary, and even people on the grassroots, they do not even know what innovative entrepreneurship or startup was. But today, Georgia is one of the emerging, interesting, exciting, and effective emerging markets, which was many times announced as a success stories. And we are also making changes on the way. Before, we had the biggest program of matching grant, for example. But today, we are considering it was like a pitching contest. So we do not want to allocate our fundings based on the pitching contest anymore. So we upgraded the biggest program, and especially for the startups of international scale, it will be like international 1-year full-scale acceleration program. We invited in the competition all top ranking accelerators in the world. We selected 4 of them. It's like 500 plug and play, like such big players. And the startup will join in the 3 phases. The first will be like with no money, like 2 months mentorship. After that, it's second stage, which will be 4 months duration.
Okay.
And you are getting already up to like $20,000 free money of grants. And you're getting a lot of mentorship, but only half of the startups will be left on the second stage. And after that, only 40 startups will be on the third stage, which is entry the market stage. And you are getting around $60,000 grant fee, like without any equity. And the mentors and these big guys, these accelerators are helping you to enter the market that you are targeting.
Yeah.
So it's if you're registered in Georgia, any international startup are allowed to this, and these accelerators are helping you to access all the markets. And besides, we are enjoying the free trade agreements with the EU, also with China, also with Hong Kong. So it's like an open doors in an open environment. Besides, there's lots of tax benefits for IT residents, also tax benefits for international IT companies. And a lot of questions we are getting also is, can we bring our stuff here? So it is also since September 2025, it's getting very easy to relocate your stuff, and you are getting an IT residency. So our formula is simple, just to be short. Register here, accelerate here, enjoy the doors in East and West, and sell everywhere.
Well, I think everybody in the audience will agree that Georgia's ability to connect is actually a real strategic asset. Now, Kyrgyzstan has its own unique story to share, and Chubak, Kyrgyzstan's high technology park has been an inspiration to many, and it is actually one of the regional pioneers, and you have attracted hundreds of companies with your strong incentives. How do you guys plan to pivot from outsourcing strengths to creating homegrown product startups?
Hello everyone. First of all, let me thank the Ministry of Digital Innovation of Republic of Uzbekistan, and as well as our partner IT Park of Uzbekistan for inviting for this great event. I really love to be here, and I really like the style of how the panel sessions are changing. It's more like a format of TEDx, and that's really nice. Yeah, great question. As you know, you've correctly very said that Kyrgyzstan is a pioneer as a first Central Asian hub in Central Asia. And during these 14 years, we did a lot of job to be that outsourcing destination, to be like an outsourcing base. For nowadays, we have over 500 companies, not 3,000 like in Uzbekistan, but still 500 similar to here as like a BPOs, startups, a lot of outsourcing companies.
Right.
And now there is a big challenge. I wouldn't say the big challenge, because from scratch, all our companies are trying to go global. That was what is actually was differentiating us from maybe other regions or other countries. And the shift is going better, but still we need to do a lot of things. We see a lot of great positive changes in Uzbekistan. And I saw a lot of figures today, and that's really fascinating and really great things done in terms of creating fund of funds. A lot of capital is here, and that's what we are probably missing. So nowadays, probably in Kyrgyzstan now we see that shift, that tendency, that pivot. I can bring you two examples. For example, I think the best example might be the Billions case. We do have a company that are, we can call them like a kings of the YouTube. They are really popular in the world. They are creating like a kids content.
Oh yes.
Champions in YouTube. The Bloomberg called them kings of the YouTube. And I'm talking about the company which is called the Billions. They are very similar, like brands Coca-Melon, Baby Shark, by creating cartoons for kids. I think for nowadays they have over 70 billion views on YouTube. and over 35 million subscribers only on the English channel. More than 13 channels.
Yeah.
They are doing games and a lot of things. And it's not the story of becoming unicorn, but the story of success, of innovation, that the country or the guys from Kyrgyz Republic or from our region can actually be that global company. The other case can be the Grow Wave company, the promising another startup that growing from year to year, and they are now becoming the part of system of Shopify brand.
Yeah.
They have clients over 53 countries doing well. Yeah, these are just two small examples probably from our republic. But in order to answering your question, coming back, I would like to point to three main things. One is the talents. So we have to, let's say, invest more in talents.
That is true.
Obviously, the capital is missing in Kyrgyz Republic at this moment. We still don't have a loan venture capital.
Yes.
And probably because of that reason, from good side, our startups are going to neighboring Kazakh market, Uzbek market, and thanks to our brothers and even to Azerbaijan recently, Baku also is actually giving investments, and they are coming, getting investments, and also this shared actually help is helping all our startups.
Yeah.
We have to create that the law on venture capital just to create the base, because as you know, for the startups, it's integral part.
Right.
And I mean the most important part, I would say. We still have our not fund of funds, but our own fund of the High Technology Park. And at this moment, we are sending them directly to Bay Area, to Silicon Valley, because we're trying to think wise.
So I've heard.
So using the resources wisely, efficiently, just sending them directly to Silicon Valley so they can get investments there.
Yeah.
This is the strategy for now. And we have like 3 programs. I don't think that I have enough time to tell about them, but we are thinking now to open the other countries. We see that great results of our startups getting funds from our colleagues, from our neighbors like IT Park of Uzbekistan and Astana Hub and even Georgia, and I think soon we will be ready to open and also get and invest to some startups, so they can also enjoy of our programs.
Very interesting to see how both Georgia and Kyrgyzstan are taking a more structured approach to investments. Instead of diluting and but giving a more focused and consolidated approach to investing. That is very admirable. Thank you very much. Now, Tajikistan, although newer in race, nevertheless already has a great success story to highlight. Tajikistan has surprised many in the region with Alif Bank's valuation of over, what was it, $100 million. I think that is a very great proof that if big stories can come even from smaller markets. So, what do you think is your next big win? And also, what is the toughest barrier you see today?
Bahadur, thank you very much for the question. First of all, I want to thank all of our colleagues from IT Park for invitation. It's a good question actually, but you mentioned only about the Alif adventure.
Please
add.
Do add.
I think the next win will come from maybe EdTech and also AI driving some solutions. Because as you know, we except the Alif team, we also have a Zipple AI team.
That is true.
They also came from
popular.
starting from Tajikistan. And also, if we talk about the evaluation, as I know, the last evaluation of Zipple AI was more than $30 million also.
30,
yeah,
right.
It's also the good story that from Tajikistan. And if we talk about the success case, I think the much more success is, I would say, if we talk about the regional startup,
Yes.
Azijon is a role model of this. Because if we talk about our, if we talk with our Kazakh partners and also with Uzbek partners, everybody think that Zipl is theirs startup. It means that he became the real regional startup.
That's exactly what we're looking for.
That's why I think the next actually will be tech and also AI tech from Tajikistan, I mean. And also, if we talk about the difficulties, what we need, barriers, I think first of all, it's some all about the money.
Right.
Because venture capital is the main thing that need for startups. And also, if we talk about the maybe expansion, we don't have enough expertise for scaling in Tajikistan, I mean. But our champions show to our young startups how can they do.
Yes.
That's why I think we have a good future. And I think together with all region, we can show to all world that Central Eurasia is how to say the best player in startup, and we can make great projects together.
The rising innovation hub, as we say, absolutely.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Now, Azerbaijan is showing another angle, which is a very strong state-driven investment. Now, Salar, Azerbaijan has been channeling significant resources into innovation, and IDDA has been building partnerships all the way from Israel to Italy. Do you think government support alone can form a real startup culture? Or is something else needed? What do you think?
Don't we have the best moderator in the world?
Thank you so much for that. With fantastic panelists like that, anyone can get inspired. Thank you so much.
Back to the question, though. Thanks for having me. It's been so many times that I've been here before, and every time this country is showing me so much warmth and this sort of personal approach. I've got many friends here among this panel and everywhere. So thank you very much for letting us to have these conversations, and obviously the openness, the innovation, and our approach to making partnership is probably one of the key items of how Azerbaijan operates nowadays. And we are not yet on those charts that you presented there, so we need to have a conversation, I guess, at some point. We are part of probably one of the most active part of the ecosystem, being the enabler or the pusher. I don't like the word enabler. It's more of a pusher. Being the innovation and digital development. So people see GOs as this slow bureaucratic agencies. We're not one of those. We try to push things forward. We are very active in the space of getting to know the right people in the market and outside of it, obviously making sure that we get exposed. And coming back to your question, though, when it comes to work with external agents, as we call them, Italy is one of those examples where we feed a lot of export to. Israel is one of those countries that we're great friends with for a long time. Many other friends that I won't mention here. Each one of those countries that we have this on the panel, we have in one way or another acquainted and associated with, and we look forward to expand it, of course. But then I see the government as probably this one guy in the neighborhood that takes most of the risk, if you like. Okay, so we're all been known for this all-reach country. It's something that we're trying to sway away from, and then
that is working.
Diversify away from. I guess. Well, if I present the numbers, we're going to look better than we think we are actually, because we're doubling every year. But then, when it comes to the quality of the ecosystem, is what we're after. I guess the top 3 items that we're working on at this point is the smart partnerships, as you rightly mentioned there, making sure that the innovation is very much industry-driven and industry-oriented. Yeah. So we look at the actual demand behind what each one of the industries is bringing to the market. We put a lot of money into evaluation of what exactly each one of the industries that we work on requires in terms of feed of the talent. Right. When it comes to the talent, I just came from Munich. We had a conversation with the Technical University of Munich, one of the top names out there in the world, that we're going to build a long-term educational program that will end up in a dual degree aspiration that we're going to have with those guys and many other institutes that we work with. So it's kind of spiraling around education, but this is probably one of the most cliche items, right? Yeah. It's down to your ability to bring big guys to the market to make sure that they create work opportunities for the startups, not just in the space of individuals, but creating the environment where those startups know where they want to end up with. Right. Okay, so that's one of the other items that we work on. Fund of funds, one of my fellows mentioned here. This is probably one of the trickiest ones because we're seeing a lot of players that want to feed money in the ground, but then how to ensure that the right level of mechanism employed to how this money operates. Yeah, that's the challenge. One thing that I want to make sure that the money stays in the country as well, because it's quite an easy one to come into the country and say, look, I'm here to invest and then take the money and go away. So this is where we, the reformers or the pushers of the actual policy around things that make it happen, it's probably one of the key challenges that we have. So I guess, go on.
I'm going to challenge this point of view or approach in the next round, but please do go on.
Well, this is where I see, look, having the money in the economy spiraling around the right direction is one of the challenges that we've been facing ever since we've been this oil-rich country, right? Because nowadays, when the government is taking a central role in ensuring that the ecosystem is working, you need to make sure that the money ends up in the right space, in the right domain. So this is what we do. And I guess smart partnerships and bringing all those big guys into the market. You mentioned Israel, Italy. It's not limited by that. It's probably one of the other ingredients that we want to work on. So we have started our journey relatively later than most of the countries here around the panel. We don't want to take advantage of that. Obviously, we want to take less risks and learn from the experience. And most of the countries that I have here represent success in one way or another. We want to learn from that, we want to be part of that success, and we offer our helping hand, guiding hand, but then learning hand in the first place to make sure that we end up being successful as they are. And we have a long way to go there as well.
Excellent. As an outsider and representing IT Park, for example, to say the least, I can tell you that your long-aimed change or transition of the positioning of Azerbaijan in the eyes of the international is absolutely changing. So you guys are doing a lot, and I think the global links of Azerbaijan are a real asset, and that is very impressive.
Well, thank you for that. We're very careful with this success because it's spiraling you to places where you don't want to be. We want to be as energetic as you are, and as many of the people here on the panel. And it's all down to being very pragmatic about the numbers as well. I'm not very good with numbers. I'm more about making sure that the right mechanisms are in place. But surely one day we'll get to this one scale that you've shown before.
Yeah, excellent. I think we absolutely need a pusher like Azerbaijan in the Central Eurasian region, which brings or sets the right stage for our regional conversation and brings me back to you, Jamelia. Uzbekistan is now seen by many as the current leader in Central Asia in startup growth. Do you think we should push more towards the so-called single silicon step in Central Asia? And if we do, if so, do you think Uzbekistan can help, drive this collaboration?
I think this is the great idea, because together we are a market of 100 people and more than $400 billion in GDP. So I think it will be more interesting and more attractive for the global investors than separated small countries alone.
That is true.
And moreover, together with Kazakhstan, with Astana Hub, we created the first step into this idea. We created the Central Asian Innovation Hubs,
Yes.
and already more than 100 startups joined into this dynamic force, and we joined to the global stages with them. For example, the next month we will go to the TechCrunch Disrupt in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And the last year, we also launched scale-up programs in Shanghai, in Dubai, and in San Francisco. So in the future, we hope that we can create more maybe rules and regulations united for the Central Asian startup programs, for the accelerators and investments.
Absolutely. I think that can be used, as an example. And as soon as the rest of the Central Eurasian countries see the results, I think, it'll be very easy and very stimulating, motivating for them to join the initiative too. I think that.
Yes, absolutely. So we invite all the partners to join the forces and create this kind of joint programs that we started with Kazakhstan.
Yeah. And thank you very much to Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan for leading this initiative. But leadership is important, but competition also drives progress. So that's what I want to hear, a view on this from Kazakhstan. Anarbek, Kazakhstan's industries like energy, logistics, and finance are all very hungry for innovation. How do you think joint programs, where corporates set real tech challenges, can help strengthen or build a stronger B2B startup market in our region?
Thank you very much for the question. So regarding these joint efforts, as my colleague from Uzbekistan mentioned, that we already do with IT Park lots of activities in terms of building international hubs together, promoting our region in international events and forums, exhibitions, so forth. And back to your question, traditionally we have these great sectors like mining, energy, logistics, and I think we need to focus more on these B2B sectors where there is a great potential for the B2B focused startups. And as a next step of joint activities, it could be great if we combine the tech challenges from enterprises, big enterprises from the whole region, and scout the solutions from the startups from the region as well. So from one side, we could provide the access to the B2B market for our whole startup from whole the region, because B2B, it's not an easy part of making sales for companies.
Absolutely.
And as an ecosystem enablers, we could provide this, bridges across the whole region.
Yes.
So why not to come up with this joint program, like focused in this, like digitalization or AI-enabled solutions for the traditional sectors, and that could transform out real sector of economies. And this year we already announced our industrial AI acceleration program for the startups that is planning to solve the challenges of the real sector of economy, mostly focused in energy, mining, and machinery, but we also open for the other sectors as well. And as a great example of last year program, one of the startups already in 1 year were able to raise funding, firstly like $500,000 and just recently like $5 million that solving real challenges of enterprises with AI technologies. So I think this is a great opportunity for making a joint program maybe for the next year.
That's true.
Combine all the efforts.
Yeah, I do agree. You're right. B2B, industries can actually become the engine for the regional scale. And you spoke about bridges. And speaking of bridges, we already discussed Georgia it has been playing a vital role in bridging and linking regions. So that brings me back to you, Georgi. Now, Georgia has proven that even smaller ecosystem can be innovative and agile. So I was wondering, do you feel closer to Central Asia or Europe? And can Georgia, link these two worlds for startups? That's the question.
Oh, that's a difficult task. I mean, that's a question we are often asked, basically, and whether we are Europe, whether we are Asia, whom we are close to. But our answer usually is that we are close to founders. And
to what, sorry?
To the founders.
To founders.
To the ecosystems. And
that's a good point.
Our job is not to choose the sites, and our job is to make this pathway to the east and west very fast and very accessible and very effective to be profitable for all. And I don't want to say these words because I want to sound diplomatic, but also I don't want to sound as a toast that we are, Georgians are famous for. But anyway, I'm a true believer of this corridor concept. And I mean, on the one hand, you have United States startups with this amazing, great ecosystem with big universities, with Silicon Valley. On the other side, you are getting these Chinese big startups with its own ecosystem. Southeast Asian players are emerging. So I think each of these countries are doing a really great job, but individually it's still not that big, neither markets, neither either ecosystems to compete with those big guys, let's say. So, and what would it look like, basically? It would look like we could do lots of things, like imagine startup prototyping in one country on Monday, and then next week registering in Georgia, enjoying this innovative status and benefits of 0% tax, and enjoying the free trade agreement benefits and lots of other things. Then if they want to go deeper in engineering and sectoral, they go to other countries. In Bishkek, they can do validation. In Astana, they can do other things. So it's just requires sharing a lot of details, sharing accesses, and they should not have to reconstruct their startups and products after crossing the borders every time. With harmonized metrics, you can do comparable metrics with harmonized documentation, workflow, and many, many things. We could share the calendar of the events and deals with the VCs, and I think it will be a win-win situation. We should not play like a zero-sum game. Absolutely. Because even for the VCs, it's kind of chaotic, and they shouldn't have to visit like 6 countries to see the pipeline of the startups.
Yes.
So basically, our objective should be in the future to the startups and our main ecosystem players not to focus which side to choose, where to go, but rather how to grow, how to scale, and how to achieve the success.
That is a very, very wise response, I would say.
I hope it didn't sound like a toast anyway. But.
Now, Chubak, you mentioned something that really caught my attention. You were talking about your startups and the way your startups cross border. That's what I want to ask you about. Do you think your startups, Kyrgyzstan startups, can smoothly expand into neighboring markets, or do you have any barriers blocking them?
Thank you very much. Once again, great question. I think there are a lot of barriers.
You do or you do not?
I think we don't have.
You don't have, okay.
A lot of barriers.
Right.
Because of, cultural proximity, shared language.
Yeah, that's true.
More or less, known environment. So it's friendly. And a lot of our startups actually, since we don't have enough funds, as I said in the previous my message. So our startups are easily actually getting investments from Kazakhstan. A lot of great examples that they went through Google for Startups accelerations. They won some Astana Hub pitches last year and previous years. They are coming to entering easily to Uzbek market. I see that they're opening ventures here, getting investments, making connections. So I don't see any big troubles. Last time, some of our startups, I mentioned that they went to Sabah Hub program. Now I think they just recently came to Bishkek, but I know for sure that they were actually going through their acceleration program. So I think there are similar cases with colleagues from other countries. In general, everything is going well. I'm not talking about the global VCs, but the neighbors are doing really great.
I think hearing that from you as the head of HTP, that would be very motivating for a lot of startups, thinking about expanding to other neighboring countries. Thank you very much.
I want to add one thing.
Sure.
And I think that's all about integration. For example, we see a great example of how our two technoparks are uniting. So we also now are planning to, thinking and talking on making that happen as more, not two countries, but more.
Right.
For joint initiatives in terms of at least joining forces in acceleration programs in case of startups and also in exhibitions.
Yeah.
And also there is a great example of our neighbors in terms of, there are global competitions that already was done by Uzbekistan just recently, and we are participating in that.
Always.
So we see that great connection, and even the booth of High Tech Park here at ICT Week was actually was a joint initiative of all three technoparks. Now we are planning right after ICT Week be at Astana, a digital bridge at Astana as well, because from our side we are very open. That's my final point. Because we want to bring our companies, our startups to neighboring countries' markets, because that's our ultimate goal, right? So they have to explore. We have to provide them opportunities by making at least the booth, so they can enter the local market, learn the local circumstances. So in terms of barriers, I think the biggest barrier is just the only thing that we are not still integrated.
Right.
And we have to create more connections and more opportunities.
Fantastic. I think that's
to progress.
The best start. What we're doing here together, I think that's the best start. Thank you very much, Abak.
Thank you.
Now, as we see with all this activity in the region, I'm just wondering how Tajikistan is keeping up with the rising wave and with all the resilience and perseverance Tajikistan and startups are showing. I'm just wondering how you guys are planning to keep Tajikistan startups included in the regional boom, and is there anything, or I would say, what is the most that you need from neighboring countries?
Thank you very much one more time for your question. Actually, if we talk about what we are doing right now from Tajikistan side, first of all, we are creating some partnership. We're also working with cross-border initiatives together, for example, with IT Park Uzbekistan. Now we are, I would say, together working on Digital Startup Award project. With this kind of cross-border initiatives, we are working. That's why also we are providing our chance to our startups to show them in all the region. But actually, if we talk about the what we need, right, from regional, I think the question is a little bit different.
Please reframe it.
Let me change the question. Sure. And I think the question will be quite right if we ask what we need to do together to.
Let's frame it that way.
Yeah, to make something bigger.
Yes.
As I see, actually, in all neighbor countries, they have their own startup base. I'm a technical guy. Let's create some APIs to connect to the union startup base. This is the first one. And also, I have some suggestion to create. Actually, I write down here. let's make a Central Asia startup exchange program. It also, how it works, as I see, the teams spend 1 or 2 months in different countries and try to start their startups locally in their countries. Let's make it together. And also, we talked together with School 21.
Yes.
Let's make some maybe regional hackathons. But don't do some Uzbek team, Kazakh team, or Azerbaijan team. Let's make the union teams, which will be mixed inside of them.
Which will be mixed, exactly.
Yeah. And let's make some, for example, AI for some transport sphere in all region. I think this kind of initiatives will help to all region to create the really regional startups and regional unicorns.
Excellent. I think that is a very good example just to start with, and multiplying these examples would absolutely help us come together. And my last question to Salar, now as we've already discussed, ladies and gentlemen, Azerbaijan is very good at building bridges globally, but what about regional bridges? So my question would be to you, Salar, with Azerbaijan building, partnerships with Turkey, Israel, Europe. Do you see the value in Central Eurasian Startup Forum? And the second part of my question goes back to what you said earlier, with your efforts to make sure that all the investments stay within the country. Do you think Azerbaijan capital would be able or willing or ready to support regional startups too?
Well, I think we need to become friends with the neighbors first.
Yeah.
and when I say neighbors, that's probably in a bit more wider geographical scale.
Right,
but
right.
then I'm with Masroor, by the way, on the energy and everything, and it's great that we're talking about this. Now, well, I guess one of the key challenges for me here is when I go out and face other economies and other approaches, then there's always this, where's this guy from?
Yeah.
Some sort of stan or some sort of where, right?
Right,
So
right.
people don't always recognize us as an entity. They see us as one big, large cloud, and then it gives me a great comfort then to come and advocate on behalf of almost each one of the guys here on the panel.
True.
Because we've got great relationship with Gita, and these guys do tremendous things. This project in Kutaisi we want to be part of. I know about this. So Astana Hub has done a tremendous work in AI. We're planning to do things together. Bishkek, we're in conversations. I mean, when you talk about this and having this inner drive to do things together is something that we need to cultivate, I guess. And because it comes with a lot of post-Soviet thinking.
Yeah.
And we need to get rid of it and then make sure that, okay, so on one side you're an independent entity, but then we're still good friends, we're still together and all that. So I'm with Masroor on when it comes to do things together and perhaps come up with the joint branding exercises as well.
That is a very
Because
good
it's
idea,
very
by
much
the way.
down to marketing there, because we have my
Jamila
colleague there in the
Hadi,
marketing. I'm sure we can ask her to develop some joint marketing approaches for us when it comes to that. So it's all down to your ability to recognize each other, respect each other, and then develop joint mechanisms. But then one of the key things that I want to bring to the table here is our ability to push the big guys with a hefty pocket into the play as well. Because it's not just about the governments, it's even more at times about the ability of large corporates and successful holdings to reach out to the pocket and put things on the ground and take risks with the government. I'm sure that each one of the GOs here is a great risk taker. But do we do enough to get the big guys with the money to take the same level of risk? And do we, and then the borders are gone. Okay? Because when it's about money, the borders are gone. Quite naturally. So this is where we're heading towards. I'm not sure if I have a very straight down and strategic approach yet. We're working to define that, right? I think it comes down to infrastructure as well. We have this great opportunity with the Trans-Caspian channel that is now going to break many barriers. And what Azerbaijan is quite good in ensuring that the internet connectivity is well within the country. But then we're reaching out to our neighbors with great friends technologically with Georgia and with virtually each and every country that you've got here. But then this one channel will allow us to do more when it comes to that. So when I say regional, I do mean regional, not just to Central Asia. It's more about ensuring that we get the best out of the market of our best friends out there and our best neighbors, and making sure that we have the ties and we meet regularly as one brand. That makes our odds of success and puts it in a whole different role. And I guess that's the way to gain respect from others as well that don't necessarily see us on the map.
Right.
So there we go.
Excellent. I think that is a very great way to close this panel session, because your points bring beautifully and tie together collaboration with competition, and shows how each of our countries can bring a vital piece to the puzzle. So, folks, unfortunately, we're running out of time, and I wish we could, keep this conversation going all day, especially with all this energy on the stage. But, folks, if you allow me, if I could just sum up a few key points from our discussion. Our region has a tremendous, enormous talent and drive. And even though each of our countries come with their own strategies, be it Uzbekistan's rapid incubation, Kazakhstan's big hub ambitions, Kyrgyzstan's open for business environment, Tajikistan's great perseverance and resilience, Georgia's very creative programs, and Azerbaijan's top-down investment and global bridging initiatives. We all share the same vision of putting Central Eurasia on a global innovation map. I mean, why not? 10 years ago, only few would believe where we are right now. And in 10 years, I bet some global household company names will come from our region. And that will be exactly because of the ecosystems that people like our panelists here are building right now. So I really want to thank you gentlemen and my lady for being an inspiration to all of us today. Please give it up for our panelists, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a genuine pleasure talking to you. I think we've all learned a lot, and I want to thank our audience for your thoughtful attention. Please feel free to catch our panelists afterwards for a chat. Enjoy the rest of the ICT Week 2025, and let's keep collaborating to make Central Eurasia the next rising star in the tech world. Thank you. Photo, yep. Panelists, for
Let's
a
have a
group
group
photo,
photo.
please. Family photo. Thank you so much. Спасибо, спасибо огромное.
All right, what an insightful conversation. Thank you, all of our guests, for the insights that we received today. While I have this opportunity, I also want to introduce our startupbase.us portal, which is for our startups. It's essentially a portal which unites all of our startup founders, partners, and investors into one portal. You'll be able to find all the events, accelerations, incubators, and competitions happening here in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. So I would suggest that all of you here scan the QR code, join our startup base network, and get access to our digital startups support program, which is available for all of our startups here in one place. Now, before we move on to the next category and the awarding ceremony, I just want to share something special with you. As part of the GSA Alumni Network, you get an exclusive opportunity to share your authentic hero story with the rest of the world. One of the initiatives used to convey this message is the GSA Stars podcast, Down the Rabbit Hole. Hosted by the GSA CEO and co-founder, Mr. Kim Bally himself, I'll let him explain the podcast.
Welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole, the podcast where we explore the GSA stars, our alumni, winners and finalists from around the globe.
Many of us, we've been in jobs, having the courage not to settle with that and really jump in and take the sacrifice.
Welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole, the podcast where we explore the GSA stars, our alumni, winners and finalists from around the globe.
Many of us, we've been in jobs, having the courage not to settle with that and really jump in and take the sacrifice.
All right, that was an introduction to the GSA's podcast. Now, let's continue with the categories. So here we have the fifth category, which is the Ecosystem Hero of the Year. Our next category honors an individual whose leadership and dedication has uplifted the entire ecosystem. To announce the winner, please welcome Mr. Chris Haley from Startup Genome.
So every ecosystem is full of heroes. All of you who build, all of you who take a risk with your time, with your money, all of you who give back and support others, you're all heroes. The nominees here have shown particular dedication to their ecosystem. But the winner for her dedication in supporting the next generation of entrepreneurs from Uzbekistan is Rahimahan Nugmanova.
All right, congratulations. Stay there for the interview, please.
Finally, some more winners. And
Hi.
you're one of them.
Yes, I am.
And ecosystem hero of the year, I think it's one of the really important categories. And from being an ecosystem builder myself, like 15 years ago when we started Global Startup Awards, it was really not a financial viable product. It was driven by the same passion that you are driven by. But I sometimes feel like the ecosystem builders are not valued enough in the ecosystem. Do you feel sometimes that governmental stakeholders, investors, I think the startups understand, but do you feel like governmental stakeholders and investors sometimes don't really understand what you do and why it's so important?
Sometimes yes, but for the last few years, our government makes lots of progress in this field, and they really help the ecosystem heroes, some kind of partners, small companies, and now it becomes a bit easier to do it. I have lots of friends in different companies and government ministries, so with their help, I can feel myself like useful. So that's nice.
Because I think it's all about being able to communicate the value that you do as an ecosystem builder. And sometimes it's hard to have immediate measure and effect depending on what work you do. So I hope you will keep doing what you're doing. And do you have any comments on how to be successful in that area?
Well, I don't really know. Just try to do stuff that you like. See your goal and go to the goal. I have a startup. It's an educational platform, and we educate small children in the field of IT and STEM. So I think everything starts with at a small age, and it's better to start with the kids. And if we start to educate the kids, maybe the process will be developed a bit faster. So yeah, in my opinion, it is that. I just really like and happy that I'm here today with you. So thank you.
Congratulations, and I look forward to introduce you to ecosystem heroes from other parts of this beautiful planet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Ecosystem Hero of the Year. That's quite an honor and a good title. Congratulations. So we're moving on to our sixth category, which is the best fintech startup. We all know we have a lot of strong fintech startups, and fintech is also powering the digital economy across all of our regions. So to announce the winner, please welcome Pavel Koktisha from Moose Holding.
Hello, and it's great pleasure because as active investors in the region, we have a majority of our portfolio in fintech. And today, I was actually criticizing a bit this project. And it's an interesting point. Today, I'm awarding this company in the best fintech. But you know, that's when investors criticizing you doesn't mean they don't like you, right? So let's congratulate Molly AI.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. It's for you. So, congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
And I think you work with something that is important to a lot of people. It's like credit scoring, correct?
Yes, exactly. So what we do is there are millions of people in Uzbekistan and the whole world who are underbanked. So for example, they don't have official income, or maybe even they doesn't have a credit history. These kind of people, they are underbanked, and we help them. So we provide lenders with our fintech, Molly AI, and lender companies like BNPL or microfinance. They are able to score them using machine learning. And by that, they receive some kind of scoring, and they're able to provide money, loans to these people. So financial inclusion.
And it's a bit like the founders, they often cannot really succeed without getting an investment. There are some examples, and maybe there will be more in the future with this new AI technology development, but it's the same for people in general. To elevate in life, sometimes you need a loan. So do you have any stories from your work of someone who could change their life because of your product?
Actually, yes. So back when I was working in a microfinance company, we had one client who came for a loan, but we couldn't get this loan to him. But eventually he was able to get it. And after he got 2 cows, from 2 cows he made 4 cows. And at the end he was able to build a farm.
So I think that's
a loan is very important.
It's a startup story. And
almost.
And I think this is what you can see in the data from Global Startup Awards, is that fintech has a really, really important role in shaping societies. Independently, if it's a emerging market or a more developed market, fintech has really shown to have a great impact on our lives. So congratulations with doing something that
very unique.
Have a good impact on the world also.
Yes, it's really social project.
Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's a startup with a personal story. That's very nice to see. Our next 7th category is a special one. This one is called Best Youth Startup. All of our startups pretty much has been by the youth, so I'm guessing this is the most competitive one because it's all done by the youth. So our young founders are shaping tomorrow's markets today. To announce the winner, please welcome Chubak Temir from HDP, Kyrgyz Republic.
So, all right, let's see. We have a great startup. I'm really proud to nominate actually and celebrate the startup in this category. It's because of youth is our future, or even our current state, if you talk about the startups. We already give a nomination to many countries. I saw Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, even my hometown Kyrgyzstan, but no, there was no any startup from Pakistan. And I want to congratulate Korsamon from Pakistan. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
In a very competitive competition, you won the first place. Thank you.
Actually, with this winner, this is a representative of the winner. The actual winner actually recorded a video for us to watch. Can we have the video on the screen, please?
Is so thankful to be have selected for this award. We could not be there in person, but we're there in spirit with you. Thank you everyone at Global Startup Awards, and enjoy the ceremony here. We wish we could have been there, but hopefully next time. Thank you.
Good afternoon. All right, so what an interesting way of coming up on the stage, but let's move on to the 8th category, which is Investor of the Year. So this one is an interesting title. So behind every thriving startup ecosystem are investors willing to take bold risks. To announce the winner, please welcome Salar Imamidov.
It's me again. So, two very respectable contenders, and it's with great pleasure that I'm here to announce that the investor of the year is Uzbekistan VC National Venture Capital Fund.
Congratulations. Please have a seat. Let me give you this. So, Investor of the Year, Central Asia. Let me ask you something. The VC scene in Uzbekistan is very young, correct?
Extremely. One. Yes. You're right. It's extremely young. And you know, the thing is that our population is a very young population. We have young generations growing up. And if you see the demographics of Uzbekistan, like 60% of the population is the younger generation, meaning that we have like a capacity to grow more and to make bigger markets for the future players. So we have like a lot of potential customers for startups. So it's like a great moment to start for a lot of players in terms of, for example, banking system, fintech, or anything, e-commerce, logistics. It's going to be huge in future, and that's why also VC has become fund of funds, and now we're also investing in funds. And yesterday we announced that we becoming anchor investor to the first foreign VC fund in Uzbekistan. It's a Domino Ventures.
Yeah, I saw the announcement. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you very much. Yes.
It's like a triple effect. It will create more similar initiatives.
Yes, we hope it's only the beginning, and we're going to bring more funds. Actually, we have already a shortlist. We already negotiated. We'll announce it soon, till the end of this year. Hopefully, a couple more. And at the same time, with VCs holding acceleration incubation programs, because we understand that there's some lack of high quality startups. We want to make them at least, the regional level startup, so they can be more ready to get investment from international VCs. So it's important for us. That's why we right now targeting not only investing in startups themselves, but increasing their capacity by incubation programs, acceleration programs, a little bit investing by ourselves, like $1 million per year, just like small check for 5-10 startups, but the rest is VC funds and
funds of funds.
Yeah.
What as an outsider coming to Uzbekistan now for the second time, and also have met a lot of people from the ecosystem, is that you can feel but from you as well, you can feel this passion of wanting to build something. So in a way, it feels like this whole startup ecosystem is a startup in itself in the country, that everyone is kind of aligned on the same goal, and on top of that, you have this big young generation that you can put in the mix. I think it's quite an interesting mix that you are building over the next 5 years.
That's true, and we have a lot of talented guys, a lot of creators, and we have really young generation of creators, creating generation. But the only thing they do need to learn right now is just to sell.
Selling is number one. And lastly, I want to say that under GSA Ventures and Global Startup Awards, I think we can definitely help give you even more international connections, because what our investment ecosystem needs is more eyes on it, and more LPs and more co-investors. And I think you need to come here to feel what I'm feeling. So next year on the ICT Week and Central Asian Startup Awards, let's have a VC delegation with some LPs as a side event here, in collaboration with you guys, because you are, at the end of the day, the funders fund here.
We'll be glad. We'll be glad to do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
like to introduce all of you to a special person, to a special guest today. He's the founder of How to Captivate. He's a Stanford instructor since 2006. He's an expert in body languages, storytelling, and pitch polishing with his Keynote. Please meet Mr. Jeff Kabili.
30 seconds. This is all you have to convince your public. So let's say you walk on stage and you come here and you have people watching you and listening to you. You'd like to gain their attention. So you have to find an attention grabber. So this is what I'm going to talk about, which is how
Good afternoon. Yes, that's here as well. Thank you very much for having us. My name is Ata Arguder. I'm originally from Istanbul, Turkey. I come from London today. I think we are one of the last acts before the day concludes, so hopefully you will enjoy this session by, well, three of us who actually are connecting bridges between their home countries and other countries, let's say, that we moved to. But before we start, and I introduce my distinguished guests, I want to see some hands. So who are founders here, who are entrepreneurs? Let's see the crowd. And who are the others then? What do you do? Government investors? Do we have any investors here? Good.
People with money.
So yeah, we can talk about that as well. So we've got, let's start with the ladies first. Renata Ilyubayeva, CEO of Tumar Innovation Hub, and Aset Abdualiyev, founder and CEO of Silk Road Innovation Hub. So please kindly introduce yourselves first. And I really want to hear your personal story, and then I'm going to ask about your companies. So Renata, maybe you want to go first.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Happy to be here. So I am CEO of Tumar Innovation Hub, which is a hub located in Middle East, in Dubai. We have a short story. We have actually two hubs, Al Farabi in Saudi and Tumar in UAE. We're thinking about the connecting two brands. Basically, we are representing Central Asian startups into Middle East. And I'm personally advocating for our startups to go to Middle East, at least for those who is willing to start to scale but don't know where to go and where to start. I'm advocating for the Middle East. We just launched, Saudi we launched last year. We had one acceleration program in Riyadh, which was very successful. We have 7 successful startups out there. And this year, just 2 days ago, we started acceleration program in Dubai. So fresh new, first cohort in Dubai. Hopefully, these 10 startups will be very successful as well. And so this is my story. I'm actually doing everything about that.
What were you doing before this one?
So I used to be a CEO of the startup. I used to be a commercial officer of the startup. I used to be the operational officer of investment company. We have a Tumar Venture Fund. So basically, my last 8 years have been all about the startups, from the inside, from the outside, investing in startups, working in startup. So that's my life.
Thank you. Asad, how about you?
Hi everyone, my name is Asat Abdualiyev and I'm a founder and CEO of Silk Road Innovation Hub. We're actually based in Silicon Valley, in Palo Alto. And so 2 years ago, me and my co-founder, Asur Rabjanov, who is from Uzbekistan, we started Silk Road Innovation Hub. So with the mission to provide a platform, soft landing spot and a platform for founders from Central Eurasia in Silicon Valley. So we saw there's a desire to build this kind of community and need to build this kind of community for founders from the region in Silicon Valley. And when I say Central Eurasia, it means, and you probably heard this term a lot, the more household name is Central Asia, which includes 5 countries: Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan. But actually, we think that the term is outdated, and now we should use Central Eurasia, which includes Azerbaijan, Georgia, Mongolia, Turkey as well, so all these countries. So we decided to create this kind of platform, so we've been operational for the last two years. So far, 250 startups are residents at our hub. We also invest in startups. We have invested around 20 startups, and for our startups have raised over $60 million in the venture funding in the US from the US venture funds. And we host many events. We run acceleration programs. And we're partnering with leading accelerators like Alchemist, Draper, StartX. And we have existing partnerships with pretty much all the key ecosystem players. One of them being, of course, IT Park of Uzbekistan, IT Park Ventures, Astana Hub Ventures, Accelerate Prosperity in Kyrgyzstan, IDDA in Azerbaijan, IT Park of Mongolia, IT Park of Tajikistan, pretty much all the key ecosystem players, we have existing partnerships. So the idea is to really help startups from our region to scale in the US.
I think you were at TaskRabbit, or so you have experience on that side as well?
Yes, so kind of maybe through my head, so I went to Harvard Kennedy School and Stanford Business School. After that, I worked at McKinsey for 2 years in San Francisco. Then I worked as a head of strategy at a company called TaskRabbit. It's a home service marketplace. And once I left that, I decided to start Silk Road Innovation Hub. So that was my experience.
So that means we've got so much experience, actually. So you've seen you've sat on different sides of the table, let's put it this way. I said, actually, I want to continue with you. So US, of course, we all watch the movies, the American Dream. It feels like if we don't go to the US, we won't be successful, but there are a lot of Americans in the US, so there must be some competition. So let's talk about both the opportunities there, but also the challenges for someone who's coming from this side of the world. Asad, if you can go first. I want to then ask a similar question for Dubai and UAE, or Abu Dhabi if you want.
So Ata, thank you so much. It's a very, very good question. And the thing that we have noticed is that for founders that come from emerging ecosystems, which include pretty much all our countries, and some other countries, Southeast Asia, be it Africa, Latin America, the problems that they face in the United States are universal. They're kind of the same, if you're not an American company. So what is first? First thing, you need to have visa to the United States. Visa is one thing, but a lot of people get B1, B2 visa, which is fairly straightforward. But in order to work in the US, you have to have a working visa. And now with current administration, you need to have $100,000 if you're applying to H1B, but you need to get O visa, maybe L visa, and other types of visas. So it's not that easy. So it's a challenge for pretty much for everyone to get a working visa in the United States, so which takes some time. Second thing, incorporation, right? It's kind of fairly simple, but it kind of still a lot of people don't really understand where to incorporate and how to incorporate. So just making sure getting the first company right. Third thing is finding investors, because American companies, they usually have investors that they have their own network. But when you come from, let's say, Azerbaijan or you come from Uzbekistan, you don't know anyone. So it's very difficult. You have to literally build your network from the scratch. So it's a lack of network among investors and among other founders. The fourth is like lack of understanding of the cultural nuances of doing business in the US, there are many. Let's say in the US, no one uses WhatsApp, right? It's just as simple as that. People use iMessage, right? If you message on someone WhatsApp, they know that you're international. Here, people use WhatsApp for everything, but very few people use email. But email is used widely, pretty much for all the business. You use email. So simple things like that, people don't really understand. And probably the fifth thing is how to work with, how to hire in the US, how to bring on Americans, So I think these are the challenges which are universal to all the founders. And at the Silk Road Innovation Hub, we try to tackle this and help them in their early innings when they try to come to the United States and help them to overcome these challenges.
So Renata, let's ask the same question to you, meaning what are the opportunities? On the other hand, obstacles or things to be careful for?
Sure. So I would say that pretty much all the same problems that I just mentioned we have in Middle East. But the other thing is, Middle East is not one country. It's not like one market with the same rules. No, it's like a blanket with all the different pieces. Saudi, UAE, Qatar, African countries. Each of them have its own culture, economics, challenges, and laws. Some of the startups, I think, they will come to Dubai, and then from Dubai, they will rapidly grow in all of the Middle Eastern countries because, well, they are not all the same. No, they are not. Some things that will work in UAE will not work in Saudi for sure. That will not work in Egypt and another way. So it means that before entering any Middle Eastern market, you have to do your own research first. You have to be sure that your product is perfectly fit for that market. Some of the applications we have to the hub, I look at the pitch deck and I say, why do you want to go to Dubai? You have 10 competitors in the markets, and each of them is bigger than you 10 times at least. But we have a Saudi market where I see is perfectly fit for you for this particular solution. Or some of the pitch decks, they're so good in EdTech especially. They're so good for some of the African countries. So you can incorporate yourself in Dubai, but consider it as a first step and prepare yourself in your marketing, in your research, in your hirings that you will operate in Africa most, because that's where is demand for you. So first of all, lack of knowledge. This is something that we need to, one of the barrier. We need to do your own research. I remember today on the Global Award, I've heard this advice from some of the startups. Second thing is, unfortunately, Central Eurasian people, I would use this term now, our language is not that perfect yet, and that because of our history, it's totally understandable. We, from the very early age, we speak two languages in most of our countries, and that because of that, English is a third language for us. For Pakistani, Indian, African, Southern Eastern, English is a first language or second. For us, mostly it's the third. So that's why some of these founders, they have great pitches, but they don't have enough skills to answer Q&A when investor speaks to him. So this is a barrier that we need to work on that very hard. So before going scaling up, improve, practice a lot. Find any foreigner that you can find and practice your pitch speaking with them. Then you can fundraise in that region. That's the second challenge, I would say. For the opportunities, there's plenty of them. I could speak for a very long time about that, but most of them, first of all, flexibility. Middle East actually is very flexible. It seems patriarchic and old school, but it's not. It's very flexible. It's adapting new technologies rapidly. I believe 2 weeks ago, Saudi Arabia announced that cybersecurity is going to be the mandatory curriculum part in the schools, in the primary schools. So children from the very early stage, they will learn cybersecurity at school. How brilliant is that? We don't have it yet. So they are very adaptive. Whatever creative idea you have, be sure that Middle Eastern people would love to listen to this idea. They would love to think about implementing that. And then, of course, the amount of venture capital in the first half of this year in Middle East was more than $2 billion. So I don't want to compare that to Central Eurasia. Yeah, that's a huge amount of opportunities for you. So, yeah, that's it.
So let me play the role of an entrepreneur who just started something here. When should I think about, say, the US or UAE or anywhere else, really? Like immediately, you think, or after I build something locally? I'm going to tie this question to something like, how much money do I need to really try? Considering I don't know anybody in those countries. Your hubs are probably going to help with that. But what do you give as an advice when an early stage founder who's really enthusiastic about going abroad, like should they wait a little bit or go immediately? What do you think? Of course, depends on the vertical, but I'm sure you've answered this question 200 times, so whoever wants to go first.
So first of all, be bold. So you have to be sure that nothing is impossible, actually. In my cohort right now in Dubai, I have a great startup. They're actually very strong in Uzbekistan. They have everything they need. They have a big ecosystem of fintech products. And they're just today asking me, Renata, do you think we will have success? And I was like, why do you even ask that? You have everything. Just go and do it. You have all the support. So be bold. Don't be afraid. I mean, you have to start with something. You don't have money to fly, start online. You can start pitching online. You can start building your networking connections online before you even come. That's number one thing. If we go about the cost and everything, it's very individual. It all depends on where you want to start. But I would say in any market, in any country, start with the networking hub. So it's either going to be an innovation hub or acceleration program, incubation program, but the place where you can just come and go talk with people. So as many networking that you will do in the first couple of days, weeks, that's where opportunities come from. So yeah.
What about you, Asad?
So the question was, can you clarify?
Should I wait or go immediately to the US and try to build there? So will to build in my home country.
Our advice, I think it all depends, but our advice is just don't waste time and just build for the big market. And I think that's the reason why Belarus, let's say, or Ukraine, the markets, which are very similar, they're so developed, because by default, founders in Ukraine, founders in Belarus, in Poland for that matter, or Estonia, they build for the global market. Why? Because their markets are very small. And I think the blessing and the curse of this region, especially countries like Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan, they're relatively big to make someone achieve like a $1, $2, $3, $5 million ARR, which actually makes you a very rich person in this region. but is that enough to truly build like a billion-dollar company, right? So that's why we see a lot of startups that actually achieve some relative success in their home country. Let's say they make $1 million ARR a year with 50% profit margin. That's $500,000 a year. And like two co-founders, they make $250 each a year, which is like a $20,000 a month, which is a lot of money in this economy, right? And you can coast by and just go to conferences and travel with this kind of money, right? And live pretty comfortable life. And they get into this trap, but you cannot really build your business bigger than that. That's why we say like, okay, like it all depends. If you're building a lifestyle business, maybe kind of building in this home country makes it much more sense. But if you're aiming really, really big, you want to build like $1 billion company or a $10 billion company, then I think that's the goal is to really go and try to build something in the US market from the get-go.
So should I move there to be successful with my family and
define success,
I don't know, exit. Let's put it this way. Like a 7-year journey which ends with an exit.
I would just say focus on focus.
Should I move there?
I mean, if you really want to scale up in a bigger market than ours, you have to focus on that. If it means to move and leave and get the residency ID, then just do it.
And we would say like, yeah, you should definitely move if you kind of want to do something like a big startup with a potential to exit. I think that's literally the only option. Why? Because with the development of the AI, there are literally maybe like, I just like to say this, like maybe 10,000 people in the world who understand AI. 8 of them live in Silicon Valley and 2 of them live in China. So because right now if you want to build a big startup, it has to be AI related, right? And the hotbed of AI in terms of innovation and the money is Silicon Valley at this point. And of course China. And there is of course some funding in the Middle East as well.
So wrapping it up, let's say I decided Dubai or San Francisco. How do I find you? How do I contact you? And then what the process looks like after that? Like maybe Renata, you want to go first.
I mean, it's all online. Everything is very transparent. But for the Central Eurasian startups, they have to have networking here. They have to be a part of the ecosystem here. And from here, either it's IT Park, Astana Hub, Area AI, IDA. From here, he can have all the connections. That's actually the purpose of creating innovation hubs abroad. So if you have some presence here and you have your investors and your supporters, from here they can introduce you to us directly. So this is like a soft landing platform for the, but us you can find online very easily. So we are myself, I'm coming from the inside of the startup, so it's not like it will take me a week to answer. No, you can just write me directly in any social media.
And what about you, Asad?
So for us, there are 2 ways to get engaged with us, formal and informal. So informal way, like if you are in Silicon Valley, if you live there or you happen to visit, just stop by. This is what kind of maybe 80% of the founders, that's how we meet them. They just stop by, like, hey, I was in Silicon Valley, or I got into this accelerator, or I moved here, or I'm visiting. They will just stop by and we have a nice conversation and attend some of our events and so on. And there's also a formal way when you apply through a specific acceleration programs. One of them, which is happening right now, we're doing partnership with IT Park of Uzbekistan and IT Park Ventures in Astana Hub and Astana Hub Ventures called Alchemist Silicon Valley Residency Program. So for this program, you have to apply, and we bring you for 4 months to live in Silicon Valley, and we run an acceleration program in partnership with Alchemist to help you enter the US market. So last year we brought 22 startups. This year we brought 24 startups. 8 of them are from Uzbekistan. And in total, there are 7 countries represented, including Qatar, including Singapore, including Mongolia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Georgia, and the United States. There's another program that IT Park does with Astana Hub is the Draper University. So you apply to that program, you automatically become resident of our hub. Plus, we also did this year the largest startup competition in the history of Central Eurasia called Road to TechCrunch Battlefield, for which we have received 485 applications. And 380 startups actually pitched. So out of that, we selected 5 startups that will actually be coming to Silicon Valley and for the TechCrunch conference.
Thank you very much. And if you're interested in the UK or Turkey, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Probably it's the best way to reach out. So thank you very much. I want to thank IT Park as well for allowing us to come here with my co-founders and IT Park Ventures as well. So happy to be here. Hopefully we'll be back next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for the informative fireside chat. Let's continue with our award ceremony. I'm sure some of you are waiting for your turn. So let's start with our 9th category. I think this is my favorite one. This is Startup of the Year. I think this is the most anticipated category between all of our startup founders today. So why don't we announce the winner right away? So please welcome Masrur Ishanov from TechnoHub Dushanbe.
I think so many startups waiting for their names here. But the winner is only one. Too many words, right? Hyper App Uzbekistan. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Please stay on the stage.
Some more Uzbek winners. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Is it correctly in a way that you are trying to innovate a space that is already very crowded?
Yep, but in Central Asia, there is no hyperscalers or there is no cloud service providers that can compete with AWS or Microsoft Azure.
I found it very interesting when they showed me the finalists and I was reading about your company. Also in Uzbekistan, you have a particular law also that everything has to be stored here, right? So that in a way, if you want to do something here, that gives you at least a very good market here.
Yeah, we have law of personal data that citizens' data has to be stored inside the country. And each country of Central Asia has the same. So that's why there is a big potential.
Is that something that was organized between the countries in some kind of co-creation, that law?
Right now we launched in Uzbekistan and we're expanding to Kyrgyzstan also this year. And then maybe in the next couple of years we will enter to Tajikistan and Kazakhstan markets.
So just to the audience, they do cloud storage and
yes, cloud.
What you have some innovations in your product. Can you just quickly list them? Because
all right. First of all, it's 5 nines of uptime. It's the lowest time of downtimes in the cloud provider. It means maximum we may have annually 8 minutes of downtime. But 1.5 years we're working and we have 100% uptime, so nothing broken. And we are first enterprise cloud. We have, high performance computing.
So in your startup of the year, and that's because the jury sees you have a good growth potential. Could you tell us where you are in 5 years?
In 5 years, we'll become global cloud provider, and in Central Asia, we want to be #1. And also, recently, Lenovo published an article about our project in Central Asia. And we partner with global brands like AWS buying the hardware from Lenovo. We are buying the hardware from Lenovo too. So that's why by performance,
I saw that, yeah.
we are, trying to compete from the start.
It's always interesting when someone comes in and try to rethink something that everyone thinks is already settled in many ways, because you have these giant players like Azure and AWS.
Yeah, but we take with customer support, because giant players doesn't care about your certificate.
We know. We host our technology. We have our own proprietary software for operating GSA, and it's hosted on AWS. So maybe it's better we use our alumni's products.
Yes, you can host on our cloud.
It's very easy to migrate from any cloud service provider to our cloud. I mean, with a couple of clicks.
That's what they all say.
I will show you.
I believe you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, that was an interesting award. Now let's move on to one of our more interesting awards. This one is our 10th category called People's Choice. This award belongs to the people selected by our community. And I think this should be announced by our guest, Ata Argur. Please come up on the stage. Thank you. There you go.
Okay, this is a really interesting award to give. So, People's Choice. This person must be very popular and should run for the politics, I think. Edu AI. Where's the founder? Coming. Sorry.
I'm not surprised that you won because I had no idea that you were winning. We had a conversation 1 hour ago, and I think the conversation ended with me telling you that I think you're gonna go far. You're
Yes,
you're
of course.
18. You have a very good energy and attitude, and I was asking him, why do you do what you want to do? And he was talking for a very long time about his passion for physics when he was younger, and he talked for a long time, and he didn't mention money or getting rich at any time. And I told him that I think you will get far.
Yes,
so
thank you. I really appreciate
happy
it.
to see you here.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Yes, and this is one of the great times that we have with our team and with our startup. So yes, thank you. I really appreciate it.
And as far as I remember, besides you won this category People's Choice, you're passionate about education.
Yes, definitely. Our startup called EduAI, as you know. So this is a startup, a driven startup education platform for young generation. Actually, for high schoolers and university students, like internship and research opportunities with professors of universities and other opportunities. So, and by doing our startup, we want to make education much more affordable and help as many as people we can.
I think it's really important when the youth are developing products for the youth.
Yes,
so you're
yes.
only 18, so you are kind of almost in the same age group of the people you want to build something for.
Yes, this is mostly because like I said before, I really understand young generation from Central Asia have difficult to do things, and actually in the field of startups or STEM or AI science. So that's why it's the first place I decided to do startup to make help as many people as possible.
I wish you good luck on that journey, and I look forward to bring you to the global stage so you can meet other, hopefully also very young individuals. But as I said, Uzbekistan is very special for its youth, and I think you're a good example of that.
Yes, thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Now, let's move on to our 11th category, which I think is one of the more important categories these days. This is the best green tech startup. Sustainability is no longer optional. We all know it has now become essential. So, to announce the winner, please welcome Georgi Kezharashvili.
It's always something interesting when it's about green tech. So. And the winner is Caex, Uzbekistan. Congratulations.
Спасибо.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. It's our honor.
And as the MC said, that green tech is an important category. So it's about building companies that also ensure that we have a good place to live at the same time. Is it also what drives you? Can you tell us about why you do what you do?
Okay, the idea with our startup came almost 3 years ago. So the main concept was to trace the textile product, because the textile is the second harmful after the oil industry. So we came out with the idea to trace from the field till the final product and the influence of the production process to the nature. So we're taking it to the nature and we harm it in some way. So our idea was to measure, collect the data, analyze and change the process probably in the future.
So you have to be very good at finding data, or are you building your own data sources for specific supply chains? How do you do it?
So we basically started with the textile first, but then we switched to organic and farm projects, which produce the export-oriented products from our region to the European or American regions, and to trace the production process and the footprint of each product. So we changed our focus from the textile to other products also.
So besides that you have this great impact, how do you make money? What's the business model?
So we have two type of the subscriptions. So one is a fixed, when you pay for the equipment and the service, because we need to have equipment to mark products and to print the stickers to each of the lot and each of the
And
parts.
why do your clients want to pay for it? Is it so they can be
that's
certified as they have a healthy production, like a
That's
good
an
green
interesting-
supply chain?
Interesting question. Yes. So it wasn't that in demand before, but now with the European regulations, they would like to have a full traceability of the certain products.
It's going to
And
be in demand in the yearly report now, right? In the European Union, that
Yeah.
everything has to be accounted for.
So that's how we assist the local producers, farmers, processors to comply with the regulations.
So in effect, you have a new market that has just been created, you can say.
Yeah, indeed.
Very good. Do you have any good advice for any of the founders left out here that are still with us? Do you have a good advice for your journey when you had a moment in time where it was really rough and you realized something that made you go on?
Probably don't give up and seek for the new ideas and developments. The region, as you mentioned it before too many times today, is rapidly developing, and I think we will have more opportunities in the future that we had in the past.
That's a good way to end all the categories today. And I really believe you're right. I feel so much optimism here. That's usually what you get being around young people. So that's great. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, now moving on to our 12th category. So we've had Startup of the Year, but we haven't had Founder of the Year. So our next category is going to be exactly that. We're going to be talking about Founder of the Year. This award honors a founder whose leadership inspires all of us. To announce the winner, please welcome Mustafa Kopuk from Domino Ventures.
Hello, everyone. Hello. So actually, it's the special category because we will announce it, and then with IT Park Ventures and Domino Ventures will maybe invest $1 million. We don't know. Azamat is there. He's hearing me. Akmaljon Musaev. Where is Akmaljon? Congratulations again.
Thank you so much. Were you joking or was it real?
It's gonna be real.
Wow.
We didn't get any pitch deck from him.
You have to fix that today. Thank you so much. It's a bit deja vu. So you're back. Should we sit down again? Yes, let's do it. Are you a solo founder?
No, I have big team. We are 4 founders, and right now we have 15 specialists in our team.
4 founders. Is that a good number?
It's a great number.
It's like being married to 3 people.
Yeah, at the same time.
So being a founder is a very hard job, which is why it's good to share. It's a bit like when you have kids. I have a wife, and I cannot imagine having kids without my wife. So I think it's really important to have co-founders. So I guess the trophy is in a way also for your co-founders.
Yes.
From that journey, being 4 co-founders, I'm sure you had some problems along the way, like you have with when you're married.
Yep.
Do you have one learning from that journey that you would tell yourself if you went back and were starting the journey with these 4 guys?
I would do the same because they are the people that I can rely on, and we understand each other without words. And when we get into some fails, we make these fails success. I mean, we do everything together. Everybody has its own responsibilities. And without just one of them, this project didn't happen.
So it's a bit like family. You accept them for who they are.
Yep.
But what you really have between you is this trust.
Yep.
Where you are free to do what you're good at and you don't have to worry about something.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right. We've had same person win twice. That's something new. So let's move on to our last category of today, the 13th category, which is the diversity role model of the year. So diversity fuels innovation, and this award celebrates a role model who embodies it. To announce the winner, please welcome Abdullah Hadkat Kuchkarov.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, diversity role model of the year. It is 3 category, and again there are no in Uzbekistan. How many there are winners from Uzbekistan?
Did you inform me?
How many? 7. Oh, it's mainly from Uzbekistan. Okay, diversity role model of the year. Okay, let's see. Let's see. It is a woman. Tak. And it is Asem Bolajan. And Asem, she isn't here. Okay, she isn't here, and please give your trophy to her, the organizers. And I see all the startups. I'm very happy to be here with you today, and I'm observing as enormous improvement in our startup ecosystem. Yes, in Uzbekistan, we don't realize when we just started that we can achieve some results in just few years. And I think it's just beginning. It's just beginning, and it's a lot of things to do in the future. And as it's said before, that we have a lot of startups, lot of talents in Uzbekistan. We just need hard working. Yes, no any miracle, no any magician, just hard working, and within this hard working, you can achieve some results. Again, thank you everyone for coming here today, and I would like to thank you, Kim. Thank you for supporting this event. Come here and providing some expertise and showing to Central Asia region some new things, what we can do together, and I hope we can do a lot of things together in the near future. Thank you.
All right, I think it's time to conclude this event. As we conclude, all of us from IT Park Uzbekistan and Global Startup Awards want to thank every speaker, every presenter, and every finalist that made this day remarkable. So I want to invite all of you who's here to come up on the stage so we can take a group photo together. Please. No. Please come up on the stage so we can take a group photo. Please don't be shy. Come up on the stage so we can all take a group photo. People at the back, please come forward. Everyone, please come up. Even if you're not a participant, we want to thank you for being here. So please come up on the stage so we can all take a group photo together. Volunteers, please come up on the stage as well. All right, everyone, look at the center, to the camera. All right, let's take a funny picture. Everyone make a funny pose. Everyone.